Yes, people. Welcome to Saeed TV and welcome back to another Friday night debate show. Big up to everybody's locked in right now. Big up to everybody subscribing. And yeah, man, big up to everybody in general and also the panel as well. Man like Statman Baines got the Ten Hag, Ronaldo, green screen. What are you saying, man? You good?
I'm good. How are you?
Yeah, not too bad, man. Not too bad. I've been stress-free week, man. No United, innit? Danny, tell him, man. No United plays stress-free. Stress-free life. I wonder what it feels like. You know what I mean?
Listen, Man United fans will still find a way to get you stressed, man. That's the thing. It's the fan
Yeah,
base that
that's
will get
true.
you stressed. Not even the players. We ain't seen the players in a week, and somehow the fans are the ones getting me stressed this week.
It's crazy, isn't it? Like, as well, I think the fan base as well. I don't know whether we reckon we're gonna be united in terms of just the same thought process. I feel like it's always kind of like, it's always that, you know what I mean? Like everybody's got different opinions, but I guess that's all part of the game, innit? That's all part of the game, and that's why we love doing these debate shows and
I tell you
whatnot. And
when.
also we got
I
go
can
on.
tell you when Martial, Pogba, Rashford, Bruno, Fred, McTominay, and Harry Maguire. Get rid of all of those guys, and then we can start fresh. There'll be no more FC. But then they'll find the FC somehow.
There's always FC, man.
There's always an FC, man.
We see it with Alanga versus Diallo. Like, come on, man. Does it really matter?
Seriously, I've not seen that one.
Yeah.
Nah.
Like, I see it every single time Diallo
that's
scores.
crazy.
Oh, we loaned out. We should have loaned out Alanga and kept Diallo.
That's true, you know.
Me. I sent that tweet out. That's a shot at me. I was one of those people. I'm a hypocrite.
I see that Elanga versus Daniel James.
I did send that tweet out. I did that.
Look at this guy, man. Talking about play FCs and he's part of them.
Yeah, man. I did see Daniel James versus Elanga, who was actually better. Who was actually better? Elanga or Daniel James? Who you reckon's better?
I've seen Elanga not track back despite the work rate was supposed to get from him. Dan James can mark two man for 90 minutes. Obviously we're splitting hairs in it, for being honest though. We haven't even seen Elanga's potential yet, but defensively though, Dan James, man, good for your structure, good for your team. Literally
yeah. Well, he wasn't great yesterday. He had a bit of the head loss, man. He went in for that tackle.
He's doing us a favour, man. He's an agent, isn't it? He's helping us a little bit. Going to help us get Calvin Phillips for a bit cheaper. Salute to Dan James.
Yeah, absolutely. Big up to everybody who's watching, man. Keep smashing likes on the video. Charlie will be with us. I think he's having internet connections. He's just coming in the chat saying got internet connection. We'll try and get people on, but
let me know if my background noise is too much though, just because it's hot. I've got the window open.
Calm now. I'll let you know, man. Nah, it's cool, man. But yeah, man. Apparently, the reports are that Man United have got 120 million to spend this summer. With the addition of any outgoings. So basically, it's not a set in stone that Man United will spend 120 million, but it's the kind of what's the reports coming out, and it's Statman's favorite report or journalist, Mr. Hurst. I don't know if you got Danny, if you rate him or not, but you know this guy is a very reputable.
That man reads the Daily Star every day. I heard about this.
Nah. So you're just trying to throw me under the bus right now.
Listen, when Danny used to do this to me all the time. When there was a source scoring against a player, he'd come up to me and say, "You believe in that? You believe in that only propaganda?" So now come up to me and said, "Yo, listen, this is reputable. This guy is semi-reliable."
No, yeah, exactly, semi-reliable. That's the key word.
Well, listen, when it suited you, you wanted it. When it doesn't, when it suits me.
But I've said people like Laurie Whitwell, David Ornstein, Simon Stone, Simon Peach. They're like the people I listen to. Like wherever they say goes in my eyes, innit? And then there's people like this, the Telegraph, where for me are the tear underneath, innit?
Yeah. Does this make sense to you though, Danny? Does this make sense to you though?
Do you know what? So do you remember when Ollie said we can do things in the market other people can't do?
Yeah.
That wasn't a good idea, was it?
Well, true.
Woodward said similar things and then tried to walk it back during the window. Listen, there's no such thing as a war chest. I don't believe in these arbitrary numbers about transfer budgets. How can you tell me you've got 120? You don't know what the agent's fees are. You don't know what the wages are. In real football finance, that's what they're accounting for, not this imaginary transfer fee, which, by the way, they're only going to pay about a third of it up front anyway. So, listen, if we're telling people we're broke, that's a good thing. That's what I want to hear. I'm not concerned. I'll be honest. I'm not concerned at all.
Absolutely. Big up to Charlie in the building. Charlie, how are you, mate? I feel all good.
No, good, mate. Sorry about that. I don't know what happened. Just connection stuff.
Nah, don't worry, man.
We're here. We're here.
Don't worry about it. Don't worry about it. Statman, what this the summer budget this summer? What roughly do you reckon how much United going to spend? Like, what would be your precise amount you think Man United going to spend this summer?
I think the main thing is going to be outgoings and seeing who we can get off the wage bill. That's what I think the club are going to be mostly concerned with. Because at this moment, Pogba still has an offer for a new contract. Say Pogba leaves, then you never know. That transfer budget could go up. We've got people like Cavani leaving, Jesse leaving, Wan-Mata leaving, maybe Wan-Bissaka leaves.
Yeah, true.
So that's why I'm like, I don't know exactly what the budget is going to be because we don't know who's leaving. You never know. Like, there could be players that we think could be leaving, but Ten Hag might like them and want to keep them. But I do expect United to spend around £150 million, 150 to 170.
It does say there, plus the money that's raised from the sales as well. So that's another point you've got to. But the problem is, though, Charlie, we haven't got any much resale value on these players. It'd be good if we were Chelsea, you know what I mean? Because they always somehow find out some resale value and they sell well. Man United, if you look at in the past, when we had Di Maria, we sold, I think, for 5 million less. Lukaku, how much did we sell him for? I think 5 million less as well. Did we not make a loss on that one? So we don't really sell well, Charlie, which doesn't bode well. You know what I mean? When United are trying to do that and trying to leak it out, I don't want to hear it, to be honest, because at the end of the day, it's all about what you spend as well. Because at the end of the day, we're not gonna take out these guys and they might stay. Look at Jesse Lingard. How long has he been wanting to go? There's no guarantees, is there?
No, yeah, of course. I think I can't remember. I know we made profit on Dan James, I think, but I can't remember before Dan James. I can't remember too many players where we made profit. You know, from when we bought them to when we sold them. And I'm not too bothered about like making profit. Obviously, you've got clubs like Dortmund and Ajax who are these sort of clubs. You see at the moment with Dortmund. I think Bellingham has said he'll definitely be staying for next season, but I think the season after, everybody will be after Bellingham, and that'll be another 80, at least 80, 100, 120 even million that they'll sell him for. But I think for us, to be honest with you, I think what everyone said is right. I think it all depends on the outgoings. I think we've got a lot of players leaving on a free, but obviously they will free up some money, some wage bills. We'll obviously get that out of the way. I think one of the most interesting ones for me is Martial. I'm interested to see what happens with Martial because I've been a big fan of him, but I've obviously just admitted, you know, it hasn't worked out for him for Seville. He's partly to blame as well, and Man United are to blame, and blah blah blah. But it'd be interesting to see what happens with Martial because if Ten Hag wants to keep Martial, I can't see us signing a forward. A big money forward, a Nunes or an Nkunku if he wants to keep Martial personally. But if he wants to get rid of Martial, then obviously we will definitely need a forward. And also it depends on Ahmad, I imagine. You know, I think Ahmad is very, very technically gifted, but I think physically he still needs to develop more. So we'll see what happens with him. But yeah, I think in terms, I think what Devil said was spot on really in terms of the budget. It doesn't really matter that much. Manchester United, you know, we know we shouldn't have problems with this sort of thing, but we know the situation we're in with the Glazers. But I've never had a problem with the amount of money the Glazers have spent personally. It's more sort of what they do with the money and what money they take out of the club. That's my problem rather than the actual amount of money that we spend.
Absolutely. Nathan Minas, big up to my guy. He said De Jong would be brilliant signing for you lot. You could get it over the line. Would it be a statement signing? Did you lot see us last night? Yeah, listen, don't worry, man. Big Six, we're coming for you, man. Tonight it's all about Arsenal tonight. You know what I mean? So make sure you're there, bro. Make sure you're there to see the cooking of Turkish. But you know, I want to ask you, Danny, who do you reckon is our biggest asset? You know, when you look at selling players now, who's our biggest asset? You know, Charlie talked about Martial. Who can we get rid of for big money?
Biggest asset to sell?
Also, you can't sell Paul Pogba because he's free. Let me know as well in the comments, people. Who can we sell for big money?
I'm not saying we should sell this player, but the only player we have that's actually quality and in decent standing, although he's had a bad loan, is probably Van de Beek. And I'll tell you why. He's not on big wages. And I feel like a buying club would look at him and say he's been mistreated. It's not like he's performed poorly, he just hasn't been given an opportunity. So we probably make a profit on him, to be honest with you. But he's not a player we want to sell. Problem with, like, other than that, like, if you try to sell Rashford, he's on 200 grand a week. No, this is the problem though, Said. He's on 200 grand a week, and he's had the worst season of his career. That's not a valuable asset. I'm sorry, it's not. Martial, he's gone to Sevilla, had a bad loan. He's on 200 grand a week. He's going to be 27 in December. That's not a good asset.
Still in his prime. Still approaching his prime.
Not because I want to sell Van. I don't want to sell. I want Van de Beek to stay. I'm just saying these assets you might want to get rid of. Luke Shaw, you want to sell him? Cool. He just took, like, what did he take screws out of his ankle 2 weeks ago? He's also on close to 200 grand a week. Listen, this Woodward and Matt Judge, the way they've been overvaluing players on their contracts, these assets are not good. They're not good to sell. What Man United actually need to do, Saeed, is just do what Chelsea do and use the loan market better. Accept the fact that you're not going to get the fee you want for these players and just reduce your wage bill. Yeah, so for the next financial year, somebody's covered 67% of Martial's wages, 70% of Rashford's wages. If you want to get rid of Luke Shaw or even a De Gea who's on 350, someone covers that wages and then you've reduced your wage bill. The biggest expenditure for a football club every year is their wage bill. It's not transfer fees. It's wage bill. And Man United need to start looking at reduction in wage bill as a transfer fee for me, because none of these assets are. You're not getting. What was it? What's the hypothetical I see on Twitter? Would you sell Rashford for 90 mil to Barcelona? Good luck with that, innit? If you think that's going to happen.
Well, that was 2 years ago, actually. But yeah, I think it could have been an option maybe 2 years ago. Abdul says here, De Jong is definitely leaving. I'm a Barca fan. And Miles Johnson said DM has to be the priority, even if De Jong comes. Statman, who's your biggest asset if you're looking for Man United to raise up some funds? Because this could be the summer of net spend. You know what I mean? I don't know if we do that. I think Tottenham used to do that a lot, but we don't really do net spend kind of thing. But it might be the summer of net spend. But Statman, what are you thinking? You know what I mean? Anyone that you think could raise a bit of funds?
I'm with that. We literally have no one. Like, realistically, who can we actually sell? Like, the only one.
Is that me or?
No, it's cut out for me.
I thought that was me for a second. That's usually
me. I thought that was me as well. Statman, are you there?
Get ready to put in my internet cable.
Yeah, go on.
The only one maybe could be Dean Henderson. We could potentially get that £20 million for Dean Henderson, maybe, if you're pushing it just because he's English as well, innit? The rest of them, I don't know.
We got it for free as well. Dean Henderson obviously came from the youth academy, so that is a nice little thing. You're not thinking as well any of the forward plays? Amad Diallo. I know we're not going to sell him, but if there's always a tendency to kind of people spend big on young players. Is it Amad Diallo not for you, Statman? Anyone like that? Or any youngsters?
No. I wouldn't sell Diallo. And I don't think Diallo's with add-ons, was he not valued at not £40 million or something?
I don't even think I think we've paid about 25 mil. Oh, the guaranteed money. I don't think we've paid that. The guaranteed dough is 25 mil. Then the add-ons it's like the Martial. Remember at the time, Statman?
Yeah,
65 million. I think we've paid 40 million for him in the end, after all these years. So,
but I'll be honest, I don't think we sell Diallo right now anyway, innit? Like, there's no chance I think the club will let. He's a potential, like, big asset kind of thing, innit? The club should think they have a bright future for him ahead.
What about you, Charlie? Maguire we bought it for 8 million. There's not many, I heard news that Chelsea were in for it, but again, is there anything out there for you that you look at the squad?
I can see.
No, I think Statman. I think Dean Henderson could be a good point. I'd actually keep Dean Henderson. Well, if I was the manager, if I was Ten Hag, I'd keep Dean Henderson personally. Obviously, if a player wants to go and they want to go, but I think Dean Henderson. I think Ten Hag might use Dean Henderson, possibly. But that could actually be a good shout. Maguire, somebody put Maguire 55 million. You won't get anywhere near that for Maguire. I don't think anyone's going to pay that sort of money. I just can't. As Stan said, it's hard. Danny, it's really, really difficult to think of anybody. You look at maybe McTominay. You look at McTominay. Somebody might pay 20 million for 25 million for McTominay, but I can't see him leaving. You look at Fred. I think he'll probably stay. I just can't. I can't even think of many. I really can't. Maybe Wan-Bissaka. Don't know.
Do you remember when we haggled over Tellez and we were all annoyed because we just wanted a new left back? I'm glad we haggled over Tellez. I'm glad. I don't know. What did we pay for him in the end? 12 million? I don't know. But we'd be lucky to break even on him, honestly.
No, but I think we got a loss with that one. I'm not going to lie to you. I think Martial's probably the most interesting one. I know he's not the most informed, but I think there's a club that's always looking at a player, and when he's fit and when he's ready and when he's on form, I'd say he's between 30 to 50 million pound player. You know what I mean? So it's one of them for me. I just feel like for me, like I said to you, it's going to be difficult. Wan-Bissaka as well is another one. Again, we paid 50 million for him. What is Wan-Bissaka worth now, if you're being honest, in this current market?
Listen, man.
15, 20?
When I heard Simeone wants him, I'm like, I can see Wan-Bissaka man of the match performance in the Champions League for Atletico next season. Yeah. I can see it. Do that deal, Atletico Madrid. Listen, I think Wan-Bissaka was 15 million add-ons. Have we paid those add-ons?
Well, I don't know. I'm guessing the amount of games he's played, them add-ons would have came in.
Listen, take that loss, man. If it's 30 mil, 25, 30 million, he hasn't got his second contract.
That's the problem with United, Danny. United don't really like to take losses that much nowadays because they'd rather just think, you know what, we can get something out of him. That's why they're keeping all these players till now.
You know what we're going to find out, Said? We'll find out, to quote, shout out Nuruddin, yeah, if it's actually Glazeronomics or if it was Woodwardnomics this entire time. Because if we start seeing the club taking L's on these fees, then we know it's Woodward. And this is one of the reasons why Woodward and Judge are gone. So, yeah, we'll find out if it's Glazeronomics or Woodwardnomics. I won't even say that again. I can't even pronounce that properly. Whatever I said before with the Woodward economics, we'll find out which one it is. Otherwise, just use the loan market. I don't know.
Yeah, big up to Killis. He goes, we have to take a loss on most of these players. Absolutely. But again, we have to build a squad. Listen, we're gonna delve into the budget. If it's 120 million, I don't know. That's what's been reported. But what would be the actual budget? I'm gonna ask you one by one. I think Man United realistically can spend about 150. You know what I mean? Is the maximum we could spend this summer. I think that's region of the range we've spent for the last couple of summers. You know, if that. What would you think, Statman? What's your number that you're kind of thinking of that United could spend this summer?
See, the thing I'm looking forward to is the free market signings, isn't it? Say if we make a couple of them, then we don't really need to spend, or we still need to spend, but not as big kind of thing. But I still think we'll probably spend between 150 to 170 in my eyes.
Charlie, you?
We need... We should be spending 250, 300 million. We should be, but we won't. It's gonna be about 150 million, I imagine. But like, for example, if we were to sign De Jong, that's around 60 million pounds already. That's gone, you know, and that's a number, in my opinion, a number 8, not even a number 6. So if you don't sign Kamara on a free, then you've got to pay for a number 6 as well. So this is the problem. I just don't. I'm not quite sure. I don't think 150 million is going to do it for us. I really don't. I think we need 250 million really this summer, but I don't think that's going to come.
I wish, man.
As well.
Danny, what are you thinking? What's in your head? What are you thinking? How much we'll spend this summer?
I think it will be a minimum of 120. Probably. I'm not going to lie. I can see us dropping if we don't use the free transfer market at all. I can see it maybe being 120 to 150. But even if we do, it should be that anyway. Because if you really think about it, right, we've never had this many big earners leave in one summer. I think the last time was Louis van Gaal's clear out, maybe. But under Jose, all those players stayed, Matic, Pogba. So, yeah, when you think about, I think the figures being thrown around on 50 mil we're saving on wages with Mata, Pogba, Lingard, all these guys leaving. I don't think that even factors in the Baillies and the Jones and potentially Henderson. And then if you start getting rid of, we forget Cavani. Cavani's going. What's he on, 300? What's Cavani on? Cavani's on big money.
He's on big money, but I don't know if it's 300 though. But I know he's on
do you know
big
what
money.
it is? We spend 100
definitely
plus
over
every
200.
million. We've been spending 100 plus, even in the COVID, even though we spread it around every single summer without reducing our wage bill. So you're telling me finally we're going to reduce this wage bill by a significant amount. We've never been in this position before for such a long time, and then we're going to spend the same amount of money that we've always spent. I think the club, listen, tell me we're spending no money, but then go drop close to 200 for me and use the free transfer market. Like, get at least 5 players. If you can get 6 or 7, that's a bonus.
Okay. You know what? Because everybody's set in the range of that, we're gonna assume 150 million, right? That's what we're gonna assume that Man United will spend this summer. Where do we prioritize, Charlie? Where do you think should be the most emphasis on United spending? Where would you kind of spend the most? In what area? Are you thinking?
It's got to be midfield, hasn't it? Look, you could go around literally every position on the pitch, other than maybe Ronaldo's position, even Ronaldo's, maybe not Sancho's position, maybe Varane. There's a few that we could probably all agree on, but Manchester United desperately need to replace Matic and Pogba. I actually think we might need to replace Fred and McTominay as well, but we can't sign 4 midfield players. So we need to sign 2 midfield players. De Jong and Tchouaméni would be my dream, but that's probably not going to happen. I think De Jong and Kamara would be good. I think there's a lot of other midfield players out there. There's Ruben Neves. There's Benacer from AC Milan. There are a lot of options. I think Lima might be going to Bayern Munich. That there are a lot of options out there, and I just think that we have to make the most, as the other lads have said, of the free market. So you've got Eriksen as well. We could get on a free. I would only take him on a free if we've already signed, 3 or 4 other really, really good players. But I don't think that's an emergency right now. But I think it has to be midfield. I think we need a number 6 and a number 8. So yeah, I think that's where I'll go first. But if we're talking 150 million and we sign Neves and De Jong, that is already most of the budget gone. So this is the problem we've got. So I just hope Man United, and Danny makes a good point, but also I think we've got to be careful with how we negotiate. I know we've had changes behind the scenes, but there's nothing to say that Man United have changed. We haven't seen any evidence of Man United signing and negotiating smartly yet. And there's no point getting 5 or 6 off your wage bill and then signing 5 or 6 and putting them on high wages straight away. We need to make sure we negotiate properly. And we need to make sure that we build this from the bottom rather than bringing players in here, offering them 350k a week before they even kicked a ball.
Absolutely. I got a guy here, Harris, is saying, Said, you have a problem with Fernandes getting 240k a week, but Sancho is getting 350 a week.
I don't believe this Sancho number. I'm going to be honest with you.
It's not even about that, really. It's about the fact that, for me, the club said that they weren't going to offer contracts until they had the managerial appointments sorted. That was my kind of, grudge. And
so
not really.
Ten Hag's been talking to these guys for months, man. He knew about the Fernandes extension.
Well, there you go.
He knew and he approved.
I personally still don't believe Fernandes should be getting that amount. You know what I mean? Personally, but again, each to their own, innit? I think that
we shouldn't have given him the new deal. But I agree with you. You should be getting that amount. We had him on a good deal. We should have kept him on it. But I think Ten Hag. That's all I'm saying. I think Ten Hag.
Yeah, we'll see. Exactly. So, everybody's getting a 25% wage cut. Sancho is on 265 now. Yeah. Statman, what you because you know what, when you look at the squad, man, someone's saying there's 6, 8 striker, Killis saying right back. I feel we need. There's a lot of positions we need. You know what I mean? I still think the right back situation is a sketchy one, but I still think we need a left back more. Where would you think is your most priority?
I'll place half of these lot, but if I had to choose, we definitely need 2 midfielders. I think we do get a fullback. I don't know what side is going to be though. That's the interesting thing, because I think we've been linked with a couple left backs. We've seen the final left back being linked with us. That's like 20 mil. Right back, you never know. Like if you bring someone like Timber, he could play Timber at right back as well. Because people are concerned with Timber's physicality in the Prem. He might play him at right back. So I think 1 fullback, 2 midfielders, and then I think the report said like a forward that can play a variety of different positions, isn't it? And that guy is Christopher Nkunku. Let's be honest.
Yep.
And I feel like Ralph is very, very heavy on United being like trying to sign him. But let's see what happens with that.
Danny, what are you thinking? Because you know what I mean. Maybe it might be the summer for players that can be adaptable in multiple systems. You know, you're looking at Nkunku as well, interchangeable in different positions. You're looking at Timber, right back, centre back. You know, we had Daily Blind who could do that, and he was very, very good under Van Gaal. So, is that the summer for players that can be adaptable in multiple positions?
Yeah, versatility is important, but at the same time, let's be pessimistic about it. Let's say, what can I do with 150? I reckon I could finesse Timber and Anthony, lock down the right-hand side for about, what we saying, 60, 70 for both total? Maybe.
No, I don't think.
Looking
I
at
think it'd be
60,
about 100.
60 for
I think you'd be
Anthony.
looking at 100.
Yeah,
Am I
I think
pushing
90,
it? Look,
100.
listen, Ajax don't sell players for a lot of money. They don't sell players for a lot of money. Either way, I think worst case scenario, half the budget goes on those two. But that's your right hand side sorted. Wouldn't be where I'd go first. I'd go get Kamara on a free transfer immediately.
Easily, got to, man. You got
think
to.
about it, right? If we get Kamara on a free, let's say we blew the rest of the budget on De Jong, Anthony, and Timber. That's your Carl Walker style right back. That's your right hand side lockdown. That's DM and your 8 sorted, right? So midfield base is strong. Right hand side is solid. We'll see what happens with Luke Shaw. Sancho's on the left. Then it's just a matter of selling players if you want to go get an Nkunku or whoever the versatile forward is. So, yeah, that's how I'd go about it, to be honest with you. But even then, I think we can spend more though. So, but with the 150, that's what I would do with the 150. To be honest with you, that's what I would do because I still think we can reduce the wage bill, send players out on loan, and then find that versatile forward. Or listen, man, who's the guy that Nolan keeps roaming about, man, from South Sula? What's his name?
Samaka.
Yeah.
Go get someone like him for 35 mil or something. Just for the season. Ronaldo's only here for a year. We need a striker next season again anyway. So
we're going to need another striker, exactly.
Sort out the midfield, lock down the right-hand side, then go get a striker.
Give me Dembele on a free, man.
You're one of them, stat man. Oh, no,
Saeed one of them as well, man. Come on, man.
Nah, I'm one of them as well, man.
No,
I'm not a fan. I'm not a fan of that.
Nah, we're not doing this, man.
Oh, he's left the show. Listen, people, there's over 400 views here, man. Please like the video, people. There's only 99 likes, man. So please, let's get the likes up, people. Now, go on. Who was saying something? Charlie, were you something then?
No, I was just saying about Dembele. I don't think Ten Hag will go for Dembele personally.
It's an interesting one, man. Dembele on a free. You know what I mean? He's out of contract this summer. You know, wages will be an issue.
Hamstring not included.
Yeah, well, listen. It's crazy, man. It's crazy. Shamaka would be amazing. I'd also be someone outside the box that we don't get. You know, when you're looking at strikers in the last how many years, like, you know, Martial. When's that time United bought a proper like striker, apart from a person who's finished or, you know, when you look at it now. Sorry? Romelu Lukaku. Yeah. So it's been a while, man, since United bought a striker in his prime.
He can actually play ball. That's the difference. So
yeah, he can. I've watched him a few times now. So this depends on what some people saying down. You know what is it? I hate this. You know, I don't like when people say fraud and all that. Okay, you don't like him aesthetically, but don't call him a fraud, bro. Come on, Sonic, man. You know what I mean? Like he scored goals. Maybe on the eye is not pleasing. You know, maybe that's what. But it depends on the scouting network. You know, your guy Myrtle, is in charge of Statman? What's he in charge of now? What's he in charge of? He said.
What are you trying to say now?
The data analysis. He said. So maybe he might be looking at the data and thinking, you know what, it suits
data science.
There you go. So I don't know. I just feel like for me, it's a very, very sketchy time at Man United in terms of what they actually prioritize on. You know, De Jong for me makes sense, but are Barcelona going to sell? That's the problem. How far do we push with De Jong? Because if Barcelona don't want to sell and Xavi wants to stay, this is the issue, isn't it?
No, they have to sell though. I was doing a bit of translation because I'm a translator. I translate some of these news reports, and you know that Gerard Romero, is it? Yeah, he's
Romero.
putting his life on
Are
the
you talking
line.
about,
Really,
Mr. 95%? Are you talking about him?
Yeah, he's putting his life on the line.
You don't rate him,
he's
Danny?
Barcelona's most reliable, apparently.
The David Ornstein of Barca, apparently.
Yeah, but like De Jong, but Barcelona have to sell somebody that hasn't performed to the level they want, and De Jong hasn't performed in their eyes. He hasn't lived up to the expectations that they expected.
Because that's why big is at Barcelona, though. Big, so you've got Xavi, you got Iniesta, Busquets. That's why they don't rate him. I think personally, still think he's been a good player. But yeah, Alien Tello saying there, we can't let it drag. The situation drag. We don't want another Ramos. We've had too many of these, man. Schneider, how many years we linked with Schneider? Didn't come to the football club. You know what I mean? So we can't be linked with a player who doesn't just want to come. You know what I mean?
But it's my worry is, and I know Barcelona obviously got knocked out of the Europa League, but my worry is just if there is a bit of competition for him. Obviously, we can't offer him Champions League football, so that is a slight worry if we face competition from other clubs. But I do think for Ten Hag, if Ten Hag, you've got the pull of Ten Hag, you've got the pull of Manchester United, clubs about, and also for Ten Hag, he'll be thinking, if I can get this player in, I've got a player that I already know well. I know what he's about. I know he's not going to cause problems. And Ten Hag can bring De Jong in, and that's a problem solved for him. And he knows what De Jong's going to do. And he's saying, right, we don't need to worry about what De Jong's doing. I can concentrate on these other new players and to integrate them. So I think it is. I think it would be good to bring in at least one that Ten Hag has already used in the past, just to make that adaptation. I call the adaptation phase the phase, not just for Ten Hag for a new league, but also for these new players into a new league. And if you've got a player coming in who's already played with Ten Hag, that adaptation phase is made easier coming into the new system. So I think that would be a good move.
Yeah, Asia Rummy, he says here, De Jong, Bissouma for 100 million, easy. Midfield taken care of.
Can't touch Bissouma.
The problem is we need a defensive midfielder. Defensive midfielder, Kamara, makes sense to us, but does it make sense to the board? Does he have any value? Does he bring something that gives them, they want a bit of flavour, man. Come on, man. They want a bit of flavour.
That flavour in Anthony, Brazilian winger. Come on. That's flavour right there.
What about Dembele then?
I can see a good intro video for Anthony. Listen, I've said this before, See Dembele, I'll take him if he's on a 20 grand a week basic wage. Everything else is dependent on appearances. I'm taking Dembele. That's the hamstring.
That's fair. That's fair.
But he would never do that, though. He would never boot out of pairs. Some people say pairs
stay
play.
Fit. Nah, man, you're going to stay fit. You'll get your 150 grand, innit? Don't worry.
Paper play. You got that. Remember the Andy Carroll one when I think he went to, was it West Ham? Was it? I can't remember where he went, but that's what they did. They only paid him for the amount of appearances because he's just so injury prone.
Ice Freezy saying here he's coming to Paris.
His hamstrings solved, man. What's the problem?
Nah, exactly. Man, listen, 13 assists in 15 starts or something for Barcelona this year. He's one of the biggest talents in football, kind of thing, in my eyes. The way I look at Dembele.
Still 24 as well. Still 24, man. It's crazy. I feel like it's been going on forever.
I heard from a Barca fan he's signing.
I think he will sign, but I'm just saying that will be.
Ice Freezy saying he's going to PSG, where the real goal is obviously trying to take shade on your guy, Ronaldo, Statman. But,
four goals a league.
Yeah, but it's for me though, it's a tricky one because a lot of players, Man City will come in for De Jong. It's not. United are not the only team that are spending money this summer. Sorry,
this is all good news, by the way. None of this is bad. You know what this means to me, Saeed? Yeah, see all those clubs you mentioned. They do their business quickly. As long as this saga is resolved as quickly as possible in either direction, that's all I care about. I'll be honest with you. I want this resolved in the next. The host is gone. I want this resolved in the next 2 to 3 weeks. Simple as that. I don't want to be waiting until August for. I'd only be waiting until August for De Jong. Like, it's just.
You think there's a chance that?
And he says no, just resolve it. So I'm hearing City, PSG. Good.
You think there's a chance De Jong goes PSG and then Pogba has nowhere to leave to go?
Brother, listen.
No, because I saw a report today linking De Jong to PSG, wasn't it? I'm just saying.
It's sketchy, man. Listen, the thing is, though, with United, the good thing about United, though, is that they've offered Pogba the contract and he still has to leave, though. It's not as if he's stuck at United for one more year. He has to leave. Like, I generally think PSG are coming for the offer. That's the only club that can get it. But right now, if they sell Wijnaldum and they sell Perez, was it Perez? Not Perez, Paredes. They sell Ghana Gay. Yep, they sell Garner Gay. You know what I mean? That free up a bit of money.
And then Mbappe goes.
You know, Wijnaldum's not in the Holland squad now.
Who?
Louis van Gaal. Wijnaldum's not in the Holland squad now.
Yeah, I saw that.
There you go. Yeah, that makes
they're
sense.
ruthless. If you don't play, Louis van Gaal won't play you. You don't care who you are.
Yeah. So like he might feel now, I kind of have to leave in it straight away. World Cup coming up as well.
Now? But
I think until after the World Cup, then Koeman takes over. I think.
Would you guys keep Martial if we can't? Let's say we solve all the other issues, but we can't get that versatile forward. Are you guys keeping Martial?
I would.
I think I would keep him because I know that under a proper coach there could be something there. You know what I mean? And under Ten Hag there could be some life for Martial. But again, if he's told to play on the left hand side, that's why I feel like he's gonna sulk. He wants to play through the middle. He wants to be a striker, number 9. That's what he's always wanted to be. He'll come out and claim that he wants to be on the left. Yeah, well, we're going to play Conference League football, so he's going to get game time. You know what I mean? Whether it's not what he wants, but again, it's going to be a big season. You know, look at Liverpool. They play 60 games this season. Man United will probably play just about that if they're in the competitions. So it's one of them. It's one of them for me. Another name that's been popped up is Phillips. Phillips, is anyone keen on this Phillips guy? I'm still not keen on this brother. I don't know what it is here, but I don't want to be wasting money just like that on 50 million on Phillips.
No, I think it's 25 if you get relegated.
Phillips. Which Phillips are you talking about?
Calvin Phillips.
KP, the guy who everybody on Twitter was saying he's better than Declan Rice. Let's not buy Declan Rice. He's half the value. And now we can get him. Nobody wants him. That Calvin Phillips. Okay.
It all depends on relegation, doesn't it? It all depends on Leeds and relegation. I mean, if Leeds go down, Phillips will go, won't he? Surely.
Go for 30 mil. You're not taking him for 30 mil.
But would he want to come to Man United? That's the problem.
Let me ask you a question.
There's been a few doubts about it, so I don't know.
If Leeds go down, but they still ask for 30 million, would you take him?
I'd take him at 30 million.
Yeah, I would as well.
Listen, I feel like he's worth 30 million, though. He's worth 30 million, though.
He's just good. He's just as good as Ten Hag's current 6. So, if will the system work? I give you: it's Calvin Phillips, McTominay, or Fred in that role. I want Kamara. I want Chouameni. Never get that twisted. If we can't get those names, and Ralph Ragnick can't put a rabbit out the hat, and we don't get somebody from the Bundesliga none of us have heard of, I don't see an issue with Calvin Phillips at £30 million. I really don't. Even if they're relegated, don't see an issue.
Yeah, man. Big up to from Amsterdam for the Brentford game. Say hi. You wasn't at the game. No, I was at the game, man. But we didn't cross paths, man, Marty. So I'm sorry about that. But hopefully next season we could come and link up, man. Big up to you, Marty. You know, I mean, someone saying Rafinha's another fraud. Zonic's on a mad one today. He's called Level a fraud. You know what I mean? Rafinha, everybody's a bit skeptical. You're skeptical about him, Statman. You're saying that he's not got him and Bruno in the same team. It's not the right kind of,
I worry
balance.
I worry in that aspect, and I think Rafinha probably goes Barcelona, in it, because I think Deco is his agent, and obviously Deco has linked with Barcelona, and that's been the main report. So I don't think he will come anyway.
Yeah, Fabinho rumors about Phillips ain't it. Big up to you, goes. We need someone who can dictate the play and progress the ball forward. I think that screams De Jong. But again, if you're looking at midfielders in world football right now, most of them are tied down, man. You know what I mean? Most of them are settled. You know what I mean? I can't think of one. Like, there's always them. Remember what in Locatelli? There's always players that just gone and just never kind of we've never seemed to grab them. And Man United, in terms of midfielders, when's the last time Man United bought a solid midfielder? When you look at it, Van der Beek's not played. When's the last time United bought? Yeah, but that's what I'm saying to you. That's a long time ago, man. That's what 6 years ago.
When's the last time we bought a clearly defined defensive midfielder? Even Schneiderlin was a finesse because he played with Wanyama. So we even got finesse
exactly.
with that. And Herrera, who ended up being
he's my dream, Barella. Barella is a very, very good
He was
midfielder.
a 10 at Bilbao. We got finessed on that one as well. We keep getting finessed. Just go get me someone who's a DM somewhere else. Just for Ten Hag's first season, just get me an actual DM that we can trust. Just for the first year. Worry about
Calvin Phillips.
Yes.
Kamara. Is it anyone else that you thinking? Anyone name?
Who's the boy? How do you play his name? Sangara.
Sangara,
yeah, Sangara, yeah.
Miles
Yes.
Johnson says, "Can't believe we didn't get Camavinga." Well, that was a question, isn't it? You know what I mean? I think Brozovic is getting on a bit now.
Brozovic signed a new contract recently as well.
Signed a new contract as well. Tonali, for me, I think we linked with him like 3-4 years ago before he went to AC Milan.
Not a DM.
Exactly.
He's had a brilliant season, by the way.
This one is always coming out. I think he started when you named him as well. Palhinha.
You trust him. You see him getting dribbled past. I can see him. He's one of my gems, but I wouldn't want him with De Jong. I tell you that now. I wouldn't want him with De Jong. I don't know how Statman feels about that.
Yeah.
No, I agree with that.
Probably
this
not.
This name here, Liverpool. I spoke to Grizz midweek. He said 45 million Liverpool are going to be chasing this guy. How are Man United not in for Tuchel? Why are we not?
I'll be honest, man. We can never sell a project to someone like him when he has Liverpool and Real available.
Much?
45 million. Grizz is quoted.
That's
because
crazy.
on the right structure, they can get it right. You know what I mean? If they come with an offer, and I think apparently the deal is pretty much done. It's just his family and that are waiting for it to get sorted out and whatnot. And that's a midfielder that, you know what I mean? But again, I'm not saying that Man United have a divine right to get any player, but to not even be linked with him now, it's a bit of a madness. We linked with him last summer heavily, but it didn't work out. You know what I mean?
It's bad enough Liverpool have Thiago. Now I have to watch that guy go there as well.
This name here, Conrad Lima. You know what I mean? It's a similar box to box, but then again, I'm thinking, is there any point getting him when you've got Donny van der Beek that could do the similar role, can press as well in the first part of the play, Danny? You know what I mean? Is there a point getting Conrad Lima? I know it sounds crazy to say.
Have you watched him, Charlie? I haven't watched him. I haven't watched him.
Yeah, I've watched him. He's not the number 6 we need. I don't think he plays for Leipzig. Obviously, thrives with the Gegenpress. He's for me, he's more of a number 8 than a number 6. So not for me. I mean, if we could, I think Bayern have agreed a deal for Gravenberg, I think, as well. So I don't know whether they'll sign Lima.
No, I think they'll probably sign both.
And they'll probably sign both for a very cheap amount if they do. So, and then I've seen Bissouma. I think we should stay away from Bissouma because of
why?
Because of the issues, because of his issues, with the
off the pitch, yeah.
Especially with what's happened with number 11 at our club, I don't think we should be anywhere near Bissouma personally. He's a very, very good footballer, but I think we should stay away.
Comes a lot with baggage, yeah. Might come a lot with baggage, yeah. This, I don't know why we're not even talking about centre backs, because obviously Bailly is going to leave. I personally, guys, don't think Lindelof is good enough. I want to know you guys if you think. Obviously, we will have a centre back discussion probably sometime soon, but we're just giving you a heads up. I personally don't think Lindelof's good enough. De Ligt, though, I just don't see how Juventus sell him, especially when Chiellini is about to leave. Is left Juventus, hasn't he? So Danny.
Oh wow.
Yeah,
I think he's leaving at the end of the season.
I didn't know that.
End of season.
Do you know what's funny? So I've been tuning into Serie A this season on and off. I haven't watched Juventus once. They're not a team I've been interested in watching. So I don't know how he's doing there. And I wouldn't judge Twitter. Twitter say a lot of things about certain players. You find out that's not true.
He's not taken by storm, but he's just been steady Eddie. He's not taken by storm, though.
I'm De Ligt. I'm good. I'm okay. How much is he going to cost?
Why? You can play in the Ajax in the way that Ten Hag wants.
Captain at 19.
You could play in the
19, leader as well.
Listen, he might have turned into an amazing centre back, but from the guy that I saw, who lacked a little bit of pace, playing in the Eredivisie, Champions League, and now Serie A.
This is taking a piss, man.
It's good for guys like that. That's all I'm saying. What we need, for me, is we need if we do get rid of Maguire and Lindelof, give me somebody who's agile, mobile, good 1v1, can handle themselves just in case the club continue the problems of not structuring the team properly. Because you're going to be left out there on your own, having to defend in it if that happens. So De Ligt,
I think he's aggressive, he's a leader, he's aggressive.
Lindelof, I just want to say I agree. Lindelof is the biggest. You know what Lindelof was mastered, Said, yeah? If you don't do any defending and you stay passive, the fan base won't target you. The coaches won't pick you, because they know better. But the fan base will leave you alone and think you're better than you are because you're not making mistakes. Go into the channel for one-on-one duel, you're going to lose. Nah, I'm going to retreat to the near post and look pretty. Someone's running at me on a counter-attack, hands behind my back, retreat to the edge of the box. Went over the bar, got away with that one. No one's going to know that I just backed off for 40 yards and gave the guy a free shot. I can't stand Lindelof. I can't stand passive defenders, honestly. So, listen.
That's you know, that you come strong there, Danny. You come strong. For me personally, I think
everyone. It's because Maguire actually tries to defend, looks like an idiot. He's so crap. He can't. It's like, okay, fine. But the other guy isn't actually doing anything. He's just not embarrassing you. They're the same, like, I give them both 3.5 out of 5 stars or 3 stars. Yeah. The star rating don't matter. I give them the same. At least one of them can head a ball and actually wants to defend. What's the other guy? What's the other guy doing, man? What's the easy?
You know, what do you think, Charlie? Do you rate Lindelof? Because for me, I'd look at Lindelof here. I just think for me, he's always been weak, man. And I'm sick and tired of a defender who just can't look after himself, and you know what I mean, and just it's spineless, and that's why I call him Lindesoft. Where do you look at Lindelof for you?
No, I agree with some of what Danny said. I think Lindelof is just. I have always said I think he's okay. I think he's decent on the ball. But again, I think his physicality lets him down. And Danny does make a good point. This is why, you know, Pau Torres is a good player, but I don't think bringing Pau Torres in would complement our current centre-backs. I don't think he's a good player, but this is why I'm slightly... I watched him against Liverpool in that second leg, and that sort of didn't sway him up, change my mind, but it sort of left me with a bit of doubt.
Yeah.
And I do think Danny is right. And I know Maguire. I'm not a great fan of Maguire, by the way. I'm not a great fan of Maguire, but we've only lost we've played 11 games this season with Maguire and Varane as centre halves. We've only lost one of them. Only lost one of those 11 games. Now we have drawn a lot of those games as well. And as I said, I'm no Maguire fan particularly. I think Varane's actually not been great either, by the way, this season.
Yeah, listen.
but I'm just saying, Maguire and Varane statistically looks like our best partnership. They seem to complement each other better. When Lindelof and Varane play together, we tend to concede lots of goals on many occasions. So for me, I agree with Danny on quite a lot of what he said. I think Lindelof's just same with Maguire. I think they're both just not average, but I think they're just okay, decent players for me. And I don't think either of them, unless they consistently improve, I don't think either of them will really be a part of it. But we don't know. We'll see what Ten Hag can do. But I think they're both Maguire and Lindelof. I think they're just okay. I think they're okay.
Miles Johnson's in here. We needed a Rudiger type. Danny is spot on. Man, what were you basing it on with Lindelof? You know what I mean? Like I said to you, you know what I mean? Is he the answer? A lot of people say he can play in a Ten Hag way, but can he defend first of all, man? It's been 4 years, man, and every time we keep saying, you know, Lindelof, a new manager, will be the better one. We always use Lindelof as that kind of, you know, defender.
But we also use it. No, I think we say that about every single defender, though. We say the same thing about Harry Maguire. Come on, man. We say the same thing about Harry Maguire. We need his centre-back partnership to be someone who's quicker than him, someone like Varane.
Yeah, I get that. Yeah, I get that. Yeah. Go on.
We make the excuses for every single defender. I think the main thing that we need to first sort out is the defensive structure. Our defense is wide open every single time because our midfield leaves so many gaps. No matter who the centre-backs are, they're going to be open. They're going to be exposed. And we see it every single time. So that's going to be the main thing before we actually start worrying a bit more about the centre-backs kind of thing. The protection in front of them has to be better.
Yeah,
I agree with that.
You know. So who's the ideal centre-back? You got the guy from Monaco who we've been linked with for a while. What's his name?
Badiashile.
You've got someone asking me about Koulibaly. I think.
Wow. Koulibaly, left on his contract, by the way.
Yeah, but he's 31 now. You know what I mean? Like I said,
but I can't lie. The season he's had, beautiful.
I know. But again, centre backs at his kind of, you know, age and peak, they might peak until like 35. You just never know. Bastoni, people are saying Bastoni. Who else is out there?
Money. Do it.
Gvardiol is I love Gvardiol from Leipzig. I just think he's I think he's brilliant. When I've watched him about 5 or 6 times. He does play in a back three, left centre back, but he's just progressive, strong.
See, that's the thing, you know. There's a lot of defenders I like, but playing a back three.
But he plays a back four for his country, though. He just playing a back four for his country. So,
what's the one that's got to Dortmund?
Schlotterbeck, is it?
Yeah. What about this name here?
Well.
Twanzebe.
So unfortunately, he's
need to get Neji on. Neji will sell you on Twanzebe. Honestly, he'd sell you. He would 100% get Sunshine on here, man. He would sell you on this guy so easily. For me,
so we're not keen on Pau Torres. Then we're not keen on Pau Torres. For me, I've never seen a defender so good on the ball as good as Pau Torres. Like as PK, one of the best centre backs I've seen on the ball in this modern era. Pau Torres, mate, when he came to Old Trafford, mate, unbelievable. Out of tight spaces, we're pressing him. He just got on the ball. He played it. He can carry the ball forward as well. He's a good ball progressor. I mean, we were talking about Maguire being a decent ball progressor. This guy is it. But again, it's about pace, man. 1v1 defending. Can he do a Van Dijk? Can he hold him? Can he? That's the problem, isn't it? Given us from Atletico Madrid, I think them days are gone. I think he's secured up there.
Is he good enough on the ball as well? That's the problem with Jimenez.
Yeah, this is it.
Defender, though. Don't get twisted. Top defender, but is he good enough on the ball? I don't know.
Yeah, this is it, man. And obviously, keeper-wise, David De Gea, you know what I mean? Like I said to you, do Man United spend money on the keeper stat, man? You know what I mean? I looked at the guy. I'm not going to lie to you, man. I think that Brighton keeper is a very, very good keeper.
Well, now you realise, yeah?
No, listen, man. I think he's a good keeper, man.
So when I was taking a stick a couple months ago for saying him, yeah, you were coming at me.
If there was a David De Gea replacement, it'd be that keeper. Because I think he possesses everything. If you want a modern-day keeper, he possesses that abilities. Henderson, I'm not sure.
There's a couple.
Alien Taylor wants Henderson.
My number one, obviously, is Mike Maignan, isn't it? I think that's I'll probably say one of the best keepers out there in the world. No, Mike Maignan from AC Milan.
Oh, sorry, AC Milan one. Yeah, go on.
Yeah, in my eyes, he's one of the best
keepers. Before he comes over here, that handling needs improving.
No, but I think
that's true.
But that's all I'd say about him. Just his handling is suspect. Aside from that, though,
David Raya is another one I look at. But at the end of the day, I don't think. No, from Brentford.
Brentford, my bad. Yeah, Brentford.
But I don't think United signed a goalkeeper this summer, innit? There's so many other positions we need more, kind of thing.
Let me ask you a question. This is a big one. Dalot, yeah, is he good enough? Because for me, I'm looking at Leipzig right back. He's an option as well. Apparently he's only going for like 20 million. Apparently, who's he called? What's he called again?
I saw less.
Yeah, you saw less than that, innit? I'm sure I see less than that.
I saw something like 15 million. I was
Mukiele.
Mukiele, yeah, man.
Yeah,
listen, Mukiele, very quick, versatile as well. Can play centre back as well. Mukiele, Charlie, you fancy him? What do you think?
Well, I saw the starting bid was about 12 million, but obviously that might go up. But
this is it, yeah, 10 million euros, yeah.
I've watched him a few times. He looks a decent player, but again, I think Statman said earlier about the team and like the defensive structure, and that's a great point. I think under Ollie, that was a big reason why we played McTominay and Fred, because we had Greenwood or Sancho's slightly better at tracking back, a more natural winger, but we had Greenwood, Rashford, Bruno and Ronaldo. We were leaving so many holes, and that's where McTominay and Fred could cover spaces. And I think under Ranić, he's tried to maybe he's used Matic more recently, can't cover as much ground. We leave a lot more spaces over the pitch, and that's why our defence looks poorer than maybe it actually is. So that's actually a really good point about the defensive structure. So whoever we get in, if we don't improve that midfield area, and if we don't improve the structure from the whole team off the ball, pressing as a unit or sitting back as a unit, if we don't play as a unit, whoever we sign is going to look poor at this moment in time. We could have if Virgil van Dijk was in our team, he'd still struggle. He'd obviously be better than Maguire, Varane, but he'd still get isolated more than he should, one-on-one out wide. So we've got to improve structurally. But Mukiele, yeah, we've got to look for these gems. We haven't done this enough. These cheaper players, doing good deals rather than signing these most obvious. I think we've always gone for obvious signings. So obvious. Yeah. Just absolutely. What's there. Delve a bit deeper.
Right back who I like as well. Gusto from Lyon.
Yeah.
I
What about Dubois? What about Dubois? Dubois is good.
No, I think Gusto. I think he's 18. I remember I saw him at the start of the season when he faced up against Neymar, innit? And I think he gave away a penalty, but it was a dodgy penalty. But the rest of his game, he was very, very impressive.
We need intelligent players, Danny, man.
A little bit bleak, I'm not gonna lie. The right back market is not.
Yeah, you kind of just have to take a risk, innit?
Dumfries is decent. He's an engine. He's a bit lackadaisical in moments, but he's an engine. He can get up and down.
How much does he improve though? He's old. He's like 26, going to be 27 next season, right?
Is he?
He's not a young player no more. Yeah, he's one of them old young players.
But do we need a young player though? That's the thing. Though,
maybe I'm exaggerating. No, I'm just saying like he's not as good as he's expected to be at the age that he's at. That's what I'm saying. He's not that good.
He's 26. Yeah, he's just
and you look
26.
at him more of a wing back kind of thing, isn't it? In a back four, he's not defensively the best kind of
thing. And to be honest,
fullbacks
like we don't. I saw a comment. Yeah, I want to bring it up though. Uncomfortable conversation. I've heard a few people say it, like Matty Cash is better than Dalot, and it's like, can you really argue with that? Can you really say Dalot is better today?
Of course,
tomorrow.
Of course,
today.
Yeah. Matty Cash is better all round, better one-on-one. He's better defensively, position-wise. Of course, he is.
I'm not sure about Dalot. I'll be honest with you. I've never been convinced. He's been skinned so many times at Old Trafford. It's a joke, mate. Barnes absolutely destroyed him. Who else is out there? There's so many players.
Done with him. I've only been to one game this season, Saeed. Yeah, Villarreal at home, and I was in the Sir Bobby Charlton stand, so I got to watch him that half. I got to watch my brother from my country. I know his name. Yeah, just tear him up. Just absolutely.
Man.
From a standing. Do you know how bad you have to be to get beat from a standing position? It's not just on the move. It's like from a standing position, he lets people skin him.
Yeah.
So, I'm not convinced. That's why I'm talking about Timber. You're not getting past Timber like that one-on-one. Trust me. And I don't think, like, to what Statman was saying about the structure, I don't think Ten Hag, I don't know. I don't think he's going to go with a traditional right back anyway. So that's why I'm saying Timber and Anthony is just a surefire way for him to implement his system and sort out that right-hand side anyway. We might not need, honestly, if we get Timber, we might not need another centre-back. I'm not going to lie. I'd tolerate Maguire and Lindelof for another season if he wants to do that Carl Walker style third centre back type. But we've got the structure in front of them, protecting them. So,
man, like Arbiz, big up to you, Arbiz. He goes, yes, man, them FA Youth Cup champions of the world, SNM. You know what I mean? But talking about the youth. Yeah, talking about the youth. Anyone that can break through, anyone to watch out for to break through for next season into the first team. From the youth or from the under 18s, it could be from the under 23s.
Fernandez playing disappointed me. I'm not gonna lie. I didn't see anybody, me personally, but I did enjoy just seeing how, like, the youth team, everyone can trap a football, everyone can drop the shoulder, think on the ball. Actually, they got some technical ability, unlike our first team. It's a bit weird.
What do you think of Garnacho?
I think he's deep. But like I was going to say, like I only watched him because I went to the game on when was it? Wednesday. Was it Wednesday night? Yeah, I went to the game on Wednesday, and obviously you've got to put it in perspective a bit. Obviously, these young players, I think sometimes we forget when we see these young players for the first time. They're playing in a final, and always in finals there are very, very few players gone back in history that you could look at in a final and think he performs. Obviously, Cristiano Ronaldo is one of them. But you look at players like Harry Kane. He's a fantastic footballer, but in a final, he doesn't perform to his best ability. It's not for everybody. Sometimes the occasion gets the better of them. But I thought, actually, considering it was a final, considering they had 70,000 people watching them, and obviously they would have been excited, but also under a lot of pressure to shine, I thought Garnacho played well. But I thought Isaac Hansen, our number 10, I really liked him. I thought he was majestic at times. And also Kobe Mino? Is that how you say it?
Kobe Mino, yeah.
Kobe
Mino,
but for me, I think James Garner, out of everybody, has got the best chance of getting in the team. But I think even him, I think he could be set for a loan. And I only want these young players coming through if they're mentally, physically, and technically ready, to come in for Ten Hag. Because we've seen the consequences, really. Marcus Rashford, Obviously he's been mismanaged, things off the field, but was Marcus Rashford given this star status too soon, maybe, with the injuries he's had as well? Is his career over because he's come in too early? And this is the sort of things we've got to think about. For example,
That's
Phil
true.
Foden brought in the right environment. I know it's like incredible at Manchester City in terms of what they've got and the players they've got and the financial, the way they can sign players and the scouting, etc. But Phil Foden was only brought in when it's the same with Cole Palmer. These young players are only going to be brought into the right environment, and that's what we've got to make sure we don't bring these young players into a toxic environment or an environment that isn't right.
Yeah. Last question of the evening, people, is Mustafa says, guys, what about Ahmad and Palestri? Any future at United? For me personally, pre-season is going to be the best kind of feeling for me. Getting these players worked, getting these players trained into the system, and whoever adapts to the system first and better, for me, gets a shout in the league this season, Danny. I don't know if you're the person that is allowed in. So did you get that end of that question?
Yeah, I did. Listen, their best chance is this coach, Ten Hag. I tell you that now. He likes wingers. He's had injuries with I know Ajax is different with Man United, but he had like 4 players under the age 20 for the last few games just because of injuries. So listen, if our third and fourth choice wide players are Alanga and one of Palestri and Ahmad, I've got no problems. I'm a Man United fan. I love wingers, and I'll give young wingers the leeway to make mistakes, improve, etc., etc. So I'm happy with even one of them being in the squad next season.
Absolutely. Marley says stop Arsenal and Arteta agenda on the Big Six. Listen, Arsenal not making the top 4. You've heard it here first, people. What I'm saying, but listen, they're going to bottle it. That's what they're going to do. But big up to everybody who's watching. Apparently, there's not even 200 likes, people. Guys, shame on you, man. Like the video, people. If it's over 500 of you here, should at least get halfway through likes. So if you're watching right now, smash a like on the video. And yeah, man, this has been the Friday night debate show. It's becoming popular on the channel. So you guys enjoying it. Statman Baines, let them know where they can find you, man.
Just Statman Baines on Twitch and YouTube. That's it, really.
Yeah, are you posting on YouTube again, or are you just allowing that?
I posted a week or 2 ago.
All right, cool.
Respect
We'll
me,
let you off. We'll let you off. Charlie, man, where can they find you, man?
Yeah, Threadman Chaz on Twitter mostly, but also on YouTube. I'm hoping to do a few YouTube videos over the summer, but I mostly prefer being on Twitter. So that's where I mostly operate. But thanks a lot for having me on, and thanks everyone for watching as usual.
Absolutely. And Danny, man, let them know where they can find you.
Yeah, catch me on Twitter, DevilDLsMU. Yeah, you catch me in spaces pretty much every day, arguing with Mr. Structure. Listen, you never see nothing like it. Trust me, with me and Nerd and go at it, you ain't seen nothing like it. So come find us on Twitter there.
Yeah.
And YouTube,
absolutely.
YouTube, Black Charlie for the summer. Be back on YouTube doing some stuff. So
yeah, man, definitely, man. Hopefully, check that out, people. And yeah, man, Statman Nuruddin said he wants to debate you, man, about Murto and that. So,
there's not that metal.
Hey,
there's not that metal.
Oh,
he's a bit skeptical.
The way I rattle him about Murta, honestly, I get him so angry. Yesterday, literally, listen. In fact, every time we speak about it, we just end up shouting at each other about half an hour, then we end up agreeing at it. But
I thought exactly. Would have that metal.
Listen, we'll see, man. But yeah, man, big up to everybody who's watching.
Don't you know, Slapman? That's what he calls us.
Little sexuals, man.
Swear down. Hey, no way.
Listen, he's on it, man. He's on it. But yeah, man, people, like the video, subscribe to the channel, and yeah, man, we'll catch you soon, man. Peace, love.